When Mandy Moore walked into the Richmond Breast Center, which her lawyer says at the time was located inside Chippenham Hospital on July 17th of 2023, she says she only wanted one thing.
I had told them that I just wanted my implants removed, that, I wasn't 20 anymore. I didn't need them. I had enough breast tissue.
A mammogram showed one implant had collapsed, but Moore says when she arrived, she received shocking news from a nurse practitioner at the center. In her lawsuit, Moore alleges she was told that the breast surgeon in the practice, Dr. Sasa Espino, had reviewed her records and that she was almost certain to develop breast cancer.
It wasn't going to be a question of when, and that I should really think about having a double mastectomy.
Moore underwent testing after her mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, but those results were negative for gene mutations that increase breast cancer risk. And yet, she claims in her lawsuit that a nurse practitioner and Dr. Espino encouraged her to undergo a preventative double mastectomy with implants. Did you feel like if I don't get this done, I will get breast cancer?
Absolutely, because that's what they told me, and I believed every word that they said.
So Moore consented to a double mastectomy with implants. On August 22nd of 2023, she met Dr. Espino for her pre-op appointment, but her lawsuit claims Espino never discussed alternative treatment options. 6 days later, Espino performed the operation at CJW hospitals, according to the lawsuit. By August of 2024, one implant had flipped and migrated, according to the lawsuit. Moore's operative note states this occurred after being involved in a car crash. Espino operated again, according to the lawsuit. Moore's lawsuit states the wounds from this second surgery did not heal and she developed more problems. And just 2 months later, Espino performed another revision surgery.
And I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? I don't understand what's going on.
At the end of 2024, Espino abruptly left Richmond Breast Center, according to the lawsuit, and moved to Alabama to take a part-time position at the University of Alabama at Birmingham's Montgomery Breast Surgery Program. A new breast surgeon at the Richmond Breast Center saw Moore and delivered news that she says left her devastated.
She said to me that she read all my medical and that she would have never done a double mastectomy.
According to medical records quoted in the lawsuit, that surgeon wrote that Moore's mammogram did not show any concerning abnormalities and that she would not have recommended risk-reducing mastectomies. She also noted Espino is not a board-certified plastic surgeon.
From the very beginning to the very end, this was mismanaged.
We shared Moore's medical records with Dr. Louis Ladosi, a board-certified plastic surgeon who performs breast reconstruction surgeries and works with a lot of patients who have breast cancer or genetic mutations.
Although her breast cancer risk was high, about twice what is the normal breast cancer risk, the appropriate management for that situation was closer observation. It was not surgical intervention.
Moore has now filed a medical malpractice lawsuit in Richmond Circuit Court.
You can never go back after a woman has a mastectomy. To take that away from her when it never needed to happen is just unforgivable.
Her attorney, Rand Robbins, argues that Espino acted in violation of the standard of care and was highly motivated by the money she earned for performing these procedures. He also claims CJW hospitals and HCA negligently credentialed Espino to perform reconstructive surgeries, alleging in the lawsuit she was not professionally qualified to perform reconstructive and plastic surgery. Espino completed a general surgery residency at VCU in 2016 and a breast surgical oncology fellowship at Northwestern in 2017, according to the Virginia Board of Medicine's practitioner information. 2 years later, she talked about breast cancer screening and prevention on CBS 6's Virginia This Morning program.
I want patients to look in the mirror and be happy with who they are and happy with what they look like in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years.
According to the lawsuit, plastic surgeons generally perform breast reconstruction, and it is very unusual for a breast surgeon to perform breast reconstruction procedures.
Typically, do breast surgeons do breast reconstruction like the implants?
So typically they do not. The patients have to look for plastic surgeons when they have reconstruction of any sort. And they have to look for the interlocking arcs of the American Society of Plastic Surgeons on the doctor's business cards or logo or websites.
Moore has also filed a complaint with the Virginia Board of Medicine and hopes to get strong enough for one more surgery to repair the damage. But she says the emotional harm she has suffered cannot be repaired.
Shame on you. Shame on you. I can't even cry anymore because I'm just so mad.
We tried to contact Dr. Espino. Her attorney responded instead, saying Espino completed a general surgery residency at VCU Health and a breast surgery fellowship at Northwestern Medicine. She said that during the specialized fellowship, Espino was trained by surgical oncologists and plastic surgeons to perform breast, oncologic, and reconstructive surgery. She added that Espino was credentialed and had privileges at multiple Richmond area hospitals to practice oncoplastic breast surgery. Espino has not filed her response to the lawsuit yet. Chippenham and Johnston Willis Hospitals, HCA, and another defendant have all filed motions to dismiss the lawsuit, arguing in part that she filed her lawsuit too late. In its response, CJW claims it did not permit Espino to perform complex breast reconstruction surgeries for patients and denies it was highly profitable for CJW when Espino performed mastectomies and breast reconstruction surgeries together. We asked HCA Healthcare's Capital Division about Moore's claims. Wes Hester, their spokesperson, sent us the following statement. Dr. Sasa Espino was previously credentialed by Chippenham and Johnston Willis Hospitals to perform breast reconstruction surgeries. Dr. Espino's request for privileges was carefully reviewed by a credentials committee and medical executive committee. These committees evaluate many factors, including the provider's formal training, certifications, licenses, and past surgical experience, including procedures performed during residency, fellowship, and at other facilities. The committees also review case logs and other documentation to ensure the provider has demonstrated competency in the requested procedure. Our hospital providers are continuously evaluated through an ongoing professional practice review to maintain high standards of care. In the days ahead, we'll introduce you to another former patient who has filed a lawsuit claiming that Dr. Espino botched her breast surgery. I'm Melissa Hippolyte for CBS 6. Matthew Whitfield's wife nearly died when she unexpectedly gave birth 9 weeks early on October 29th of last year at Henrico Doctors Hospital.
There was a point in time where I thought I lost both her and my daughter.
At first, he had to split his time between his wife, who was recovering, and his daughter, who was in the NICU at the hospital. And he says he implicitly trusted the staff in the NICU.
We thought it was one of the best in the area, if not the state, and thought that there's no safer place for our baby and my wife.
But according to two scathing new reports from the state, the hospital failed to implement actions to prevent abuse or protect patients from abuse and neglect. The reports detail the results of an investigation that was launched after the Virginia Department of Health learned that multiple babies had suffered broken bones in the neonatal intensive care unit of Henrico Doctors Hospital late last year. The VDH Office of Licensure and Certification probe began this past December. The day after Christmas, CBS 6 was first to report that the hospital had posted an alert on its website saying that NICU admissions were being paused and that safety measures were being updated due to, quote, unexplainable fractures. Since that time, a nurse named Erin Stratman has been arrested and charged with multiple crimes against 5 premature babies, including abuse and malicious wounding. Whitfield says Stratman was the most consistent nurse tending to his baby within the first 2 weeks of her life.
We thought she was great. We never would have thought it was Erin.
The state investigation confirms previous CBS 6 reporting that Stratman, referred to in the report as EMP-11, was actually placed on administrative leave on September 10th of 2023 after 4 different babies that she had cared for suffered mysterious fractures. Those injuries were identified between August 5th and September 5th of that year, but were not reported to Child Protective Services until September 20th. According to the report, when the state investigator asked why CPS was not alerted within 24 hours about suspected abuse as required by law, another hospital employee, quote, indicated that the facility conducted their own initial investigation and then determined the facility would report the possibility of abuse. At that time, the hospital agreed to put certain safety measures in place to ensure more babies would not be injured. They installed security cameras in NICU rooms and implemented daily head-to-toe assessments of all patients to look for any suspected signs of abuse. But inspectors found the hospital did not review video from the cameras and discontinued the head-to-toe assessments in the summer of 2024 without approval from executive leadership.
Do you think that that should have been in place from the beginning to have some sort of maybe random review of footage?
I think that would have been helpful. I think it would have been helpful for the hospital to have been reviewing the footage of at least Erin if they knew that she was potentially a suspect for what happened in 2023. I don't know why there wasn't more oversight of her work.
Stratman was allowed to return to the NICU a year later on September 17th of 2024 after the CPS investigation found that abuse had taken place, but they could not identify the abuser. The report states that upon returning to work, Stratman had to complete abuse and neglect training and work alongside a supervisor called a preceptor. During an interview, another hospital employee told the state investigator that after 3 days with the preceptor, the hospital had no concerns with Stratman's care.
Well, it is shocking to me that the hospital didn't do more, that they let her come back, that they let this happen again. I don't know how this happens twice.
Less than 2 months later, on November 10th, surveillance video showed Stratman holding one of the babies without supporting the head and neck and also quickly twisting the infant's head with one hand while the infant was lying on their back. That same video showed Stratman, quote, forcefully pushing the infant's legs towards the abdomen with the feet almost touching the infant's face. 3 days later, according to the report, video captured Stratman forcefully inserting a suction catheter into the baby's nostril and inserting it deeply. Another employee told the investigator it was the incorrect type of suction device for the nose. Ultimately, the state investigation found that the hospital failed to prevent child abuse for 7 NICU patients, though, as we said, Stratman is currently only charged with crimes against 5 children. While there is no evidence to suggest Whitfield's baby was ever harmed, Whitfield says he is still haunted by what he says was a lack of communication from Henrico Doctors Hospital about what happened.
We were in the NICU. We had her as a nurse. At any time, they could have told us what was going on, and they never did.